I'm Dr. V. I wanted to do this video on interview tips since interview season is among us. So good luck to all the applicants, and I hope these tips are helpful. So the first tip that I want to give is to be well groomed. So for fellas, if you have a beard, facial hair, that's fine. Just trim it, make it nice and professional, get a haircut, look really good. You want to make sure that your clothes don't have any stains on it, so definitely bring backups because things happen, but you don't want to go into an interview and have stains on your shirts or tie or anything like that. So please bring backups and be well groomed. Ladies, I kind of get this question a lot, whether they should straighten their hair or wear their hair natural. It's fine to wear your hair natural, just still make sure that it looks nice and it's professional. If you have long braids, maybe pull it back or put it in a bun. If you have straight hair, that's fine. Maybe, still pull it back. You don't want anything to be distracting for the interviewer. Ladies, you do not want to wear any dramatic makeup. Have natural makeup. But also in our work field in dentistry, your hair has to be pulled back most of the time. So you don't want to have hair that is distracting or in the way. So you don't want anything dramatic. So if you have natural hair, that's fine. Still have it nice, well groomed. Pull it back out of your face and no dramatic makeup. And then also, ladies, for the staining as well, bring backups. And also make sure that you wear what you're going to wear for your interview before the actual interview, because sometimes, ladies, when we have certain tops and if we sit down, then you get like a little bubble here and then someone can kind of see through your shirt, unfortunately, sometimes. So you need to make sure that that does not happen. Sit in your shirt, see how it looks, and then if you do have that little space here, then get a safety pin and safety pin that underneath. But just make sure that you look very professional, well groomed, and you have a professional demeanor. Okay, so for tip number 2, it is do not rush your answers. I know that a lot of times during interviews, it can be a very stressful and nerve-wracking situation. It is okay to take a couple of seconds to think about your answer and then respond. You don't want to just respond and then start blurting out things, and then you're babbling, and then you're mad at yourself because you didn't say what you wanted to say, and then you get really flustered. So just breathe when asked the question. Think about it for a few seconds so that you can respond with a clear, concise answer. They would rather that than you just kind of blurt out and be nervous and now everyone's flustered and awkward. Just think about it, be confident in what you're gonna say, but it is okay to think about what you're gonna say and take that time. So do not rush your answers, be confident in what you provide, and it's okay to think, that's fine. Okay, for my third tip, it is to have questions. Usually if there's time at the end of an interview, they'll ask you if you have any questions. Yes, you should have questions. You don't want to be in a situation where you have nothing else to ask, because just as much as they're going to interview you, you're also interviewing them in that program or position to see if it's the right fit for you. So you should make sure that you have questions. Even if you feel like your questions were answered previously, maybe by other residents or other people, in your actual interview, I think it's good to ask questions, be intrigued about the program, show what you're interested in and what you're actually looking for. So it's always good to ask questions. If you don't have any of your own or you don't know what to ask, there are plenty of questions that you can Google to say, okay, I'm applying for an ortho program or a PEDS or a GPR program, an AEDD program, and they have questions that you can ask for different things. So I would definitely suggest asking questions. You can even have a pad. You don't have to memorize them. You can have a pad and notebook, pen and paper. Bring that out if you want to and ask your questions from there. But it's definitely no harm in asking questions. They actually want you to ask questions. So please have questions to ask. So my next tip, it's a little different now because of the pandemic and COVID, and a lot of people aren't necessarily doing in-person interviews right now. But if you are physically going into any place that you're going for the interview, make sure you speak to everyone. You don't want it to be a situation where you go in, a lot of people like you, but one person says, well, they didn't talk to me, so I don't know anything about this person, I can't put in a vote. So make sure you're nice to everyone, talk to everyone. You never know who is a part of the interview process, from the assistants to the front desk person to the residents. The program director wants to see, okay, how the other residents feel about the interviewees and if they can get along with them. So they also play a pivotal role in the interview process. So make sure that when you go, you speak to everyone, you're nice, you're polite, professional, and you're personable. So talk to everyone, that's very important. The last quick tip that I'm gonna give is to do mock interviews. A lot of people don't like doing mock interviews. They don't like practicing, maybe because they're nervous, but the more you practice, the more confident you'll be on your interview day. It's very important to go over certain questions that they may ask and your responses to those so that you're confident in what you're gonna say. It's a little different now because of the pandemic and things may be virtual interviews, and that's fine as well. I would also suggest practicing and seeing yourself on camera so you know what you look like when they're looking at you. So if you do have an interview that is virtual, look at yourself, record yourself answering questions, and just see how you carry yourself and your demeanor on video and on camera so that you can practice that, and you'll also be used to it when you have your interview day. When you go in person, same thing. You don't want to be flustered, so nervous. You may be a little nervous, and that's natural. But make sure that you do have mock interviews with someone who's slightly familiar with the process, going over certain questions that you should have standard answers for, or your personal answers for. You want to be strong and confident in what you're saying. So making sure that you're practicing is very important in your mock interviews. I know people don't like it, but it's very important to do so that you feel more confident when you go in interview day. So I hope these little tips were helpful. I might do a part 2, but because there's a lot to cover when it comes to interviews, but I know interviews are coming up. So I want to give these quick tips to help those that are applying this cycle. Good luck.